This is The Bad Catholic, and we are continuing our series on pro-life theory, tactics, and strategy. I had a hard time deciding what we should start off with this series. I think first we must primarily get to the principle for pro-life civil rights activists, which I think from experience is motivation. That is to say, what is our presupposition, and how would we expect one who holds that position to act and respond? It comes down to this. If you really believe abortion is the murder of a human person, how would we expect one to respond? This may sound basic. However, from conversations that I've had, I find that this is not sufficiently reflected upon. Let us put this in another context. Should we see our neighbor strangling a 5-year-old child next door, obviously to death, what would we be expected to do? Well, naturally, we'd be expected to hop the fence, wrestle them to the ground, scream and yell, call the police, etc. Yet, when it comes to the pro-life boat, we seem to falter in this regard. Now, I'm guilty, and I think most of us are in this position. But let us meditate on this concept. You see, we often reflect on genocides and ask, how could this have happened? And why did no one speak out on this? Unlike the Holocaust and communist oppressions, we don't get the excuse that sometime in the middle of the night, if we spoke out, we'd get and then disappear into the night. I think history will be more critical of us in that regard due to that fact, because our only excuse really is indolence. This presupposition of, if you really think it's murder, how would one react, is a useful yardstick that is excellent for discerning and shifting through ideas and arguments. For example, the so-called Feminists for Life website is completely useless in its argumentation, for it dwells not on the human person being exterminated, but the ego and safety of the mother. Or in one particular case, a person gave me some statistics on how many women were sexually abused during their abortions. Here again, although this is horrible, it has nothing to do with the murder taking place. We have these problems with dentistry. As well, this mantra, if you will, puts to rest the idea of 40 days for life as a truly useful long-term endeavor. For if you truly believe murder is occurring, is 40 days of outrage all we can expect? This is not to say don't participate in the 40 days. I celebrate and support of all those who do. What I am saying is that we need a more sustained, visible protest. What our adversaries really worry about is not 40 days for life or a life chain one day a year. They worry about us actually responding like we really believe in what we say we do. What they call radical. I repeat, I'm not advocating violence. I'm advocating intellectual and physical resistance in a Gandhi-like fashion. One only need look at the response by our opposition on university campuses regarding the suppression of pro-life clubs to understand that these people really do respond like they truly believe what they are saying is true. Moreover, would you go to prison by defying property laws to hop that fence to save the child I mentioned earlier? Not all of us can for a variety of reasons, but we must celebrate and recognize those that do. And perhaps we should, to make resistance too expensive and embarrassing for the state to continue, but that's another video. So I suggest reflecting every day on the concept. If I really believe murders are taking place in my city on blah 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 street, how would I expect myself to respond to that in a free society? I find it sufficiently radicalizes one and simultaneously isolates one from the side issues. For like the existence of God, if we are right on this issue, there is nothing more important than our position. If we're wrong, we're just a bunch of flat earth creationists that can be dismissed with a grin and a shake of the head. The ferocity of our opponents shows they play like they understand this premise, and we need to seriously ask if we do too. If one reflects on this, you will find that in many ways you intentionally shirk the confrontation. Some use family or financial obligations. Some hide behind the exclusive use of prayer. Our cry should be that of Aeschylus's Cassandra. You turn to prayer while others prepare to kill. Don't get me wrong, prayer is a very necessary and the most powerful thing in the universe. However, let's to make sure you understand my premise, we can all pray to get a job and be successful for our family, but if you never get out of your house to hand out resumes, God's not going to mystically make a job appear for you. So there is no middle ground on this issue. Either we're completely right or we're completely wrong, and it's time to start acting and talking like this is in fact the case. So until the next installment, this has been The Bad Catholic, and Ave Maria. Take care.